Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic, and this is the weekend edition from March 4th, 2011. This morning, the surface map has a high pressure system that is moving off the northern New England coast, and that's going to mean that southeasterly winds are going to start to take hold over the entire Northern Mid-Atlantic. Now, southeasterly winds basically means that winds are coming off the Atlantic, and that means a lot of cloud cover can be expected by this afternoon and through much of the day tomorrow on Saturday. The reason why is because a marine air mass, which happens to be over the Atlantic Ocean, is going to be transported into the northern mid-Atlantic, and that usually leads to relatively cool conditions, temperatures in the 40s to lower 50s, and a lot of cloud cover, and there will be a threat of a few isolated showers, but most locations will remain dry for this afternoon through Saturday. So if you have any outdoor plans, bring an extra little coat with you, but there really won't be much in the way of rainfall threat. However, by Sunday, well, that's a different story as we have a storm organizing in the plains. This is the water vapor satellite picture as of 8 a.m. and we finally have a full sample of data of observations of the disturbance that's going to bring moderate to heavy rain to the northern mid-Atlantic on Sunday afternoon and evening. The disturbance is currently over the southwest and developing an area of low pressure around the Red River Valley of Oklahoma and Texas. This low pressure system will track through the Tennessee River Valley tomorrow afternoon, and by Sunday afternoon will be moving towards the mid-Atlantic coast and off the coast by Monday morning. This area of low pressure will drag a large amount of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and from the Atlantic into the northern mid-Atlantic, and that will lead to periods of moderate to heavy rain, some heavier downpours, rainfall amounts anywhere from 1 to 2 inches starting on Sunday afternoon and continuing on through Monday morning. Now, I'm expecting a few embedded thunderstorms within the rain shield, but I'm not looking for any type of severe weather because the air mass ahead of this storm is so stable, which basically means that convective precipitation is going to be difficult to develop. But in areas where the mid-levels are a little bit more unstable, you can get these what's called an elevated thunderstorm, and that can tap into some of the stronger winds at the mid and upper levels and produce wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. I'm expecting the worst conditions to be Sunday evening into Sunday night, where heavy downpours can be expected, the strong winds, of course, and embedded thunderstorms. So travel conditions are not going to be all that great. But let's face it, by Sunday night, most people are winding down for the weekend. So if you have plans Sunday morning, you can go out and do them. Be prepared for a little bit of light showers moving through, but the steady heavy rain won't be until Sunday afternoon through Sunday evening. Also, keep an eye out for localized flash flooding. In those heavy downpours, at the most, I'm expecting 3 inches of rain. Most locations will be in that 1 to 2 inch range. But with all this snow melt that we've had the past few weeks, along with some bouts of moderate to heavy rain as well, there could be some locations of localized flash flooding, especially if you're in an urban location. This storm will exit quickly, and then by Monday evening, high pressure that will be centered over eastern Canada will slowly take control on Monday afternoon and become a dominant feature throughout the entire week, at least until Thursday evening. Now, with this high pressure system, you can expect temperatures averaging near normal, generally dry conditions as this high pressure system moves off the New England coast. Expect a return once again of those southeasterly to southerly winds that will produce temperatures slightly above normal in the lower 50s, and yes, an increase in cloud cover, but I don't expect any rainfall until Thursday night. On Thursday night, we can clearly see an area of low pressure moving through the St. Lawrence River Valley. Now, with this type of low pressure track, very warm air is going to move out ahead of this cold front, and the cold front will move through mostly on Friday morning with periods of moderate to heavy rain. We're going to keep an eye to see if possibly a few strong to severe thunderstorms could develop out ahead of this cold front on Friday morning, but I think for the most part we're looking at moderate to heavy rain with an embedded thunderstorm capable of some strong wind gusts at most for Friday morning, as the air mass, although warm, is not especially unstable especially this time of year with winds coming off of the Atlantic around from the southeast. Now, with this cold front moving through, high pressure will take control rather quickly once again by Friday afternoon. So we're not dealing with a major heavy rain event for the end of the week, but clearly another cold front passage as we move into a new spring type pattern where the storms are very progressive, they move through, and then we get several days of high pressure and temperatures averaging near to slightly above normal. The last cold shot we had on Tuesday is probably the coldest conditions we're going to see for much of March, as, well, the reason why I'll show you at 850 millibars. Now here we are at 850 millibars on Thursday evening, and notice where all the cold Arctic air is. It's all bottled up in northern Canada. This time of year you need 850 millibar temperatures around minus 10 degrees Celsius to start to support a significant snow event for March. Because the sun is becoming higher in the sky, it's a higher sun angle, and so therefore the air masses are able to moderate much faster. In this case, notice that the majority of the cold air masses, should I say, is located up in northern Canada. And the reason why, well, we can see that at 500 millibars in what we call a strong positive Arctic oscillation. That basically means the polar vortex, that huge upper level low sitting around the Hudson Bay, is well to the north in northern Canada, and that basically keeps all the cold air where it belongs in Canada. And quite frankly, I don't see this pattern breaking down anytime soon. Also notice in the Atlantic there's no upper level low to the east of the Canadian Maritimes. We're in a positive NAO pattern. Could be an upper level low trying to develop around Iceland, and that would produce an east-based negative NAO pattern. That's still a warm pattern as we move into spring, with a slightly colder, slightly slower, should I say, cold front passage, but I don't really see that developing all that much as we move in towards next week and beyond. And also notice over the Pacific we have several disturbances moving through, so we're definitely in a rather progressive pattern as we move into March and towards the middle of this month. So clearly we are dealing with a relatively warm pattern. Temperatures are going to average near to slightly above normal. Going to get our bouts of moderate to heavy rain, but overall not bad for a start for spring. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA weather as your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have a wonderful weekend.